You are now tuned in to the real news behind the news, bringing truth to light and exposing the deception behind the mainstream media while matching headlines with the prophecy of the scriptures.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This your boy Raw Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Raw Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, man, today is a beautiful Saturday, June 17, 2023. And I'm going to be real brief in this video, but I want to ask a question. Now, anybody that has been following along with my, with what I do at the real news behind the news, which is point out the propaganda, point out the lies that we're being told, or the things that we're not being told by the mainstream media. Y'all know that I don't affiliate myself with any organization. I'm not a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not a Crip or a Blood. I'm not pro-life, pro-choice. I'm none of that. I believe that anytime you align yourself with one of these factions, you become part of the problem because we create tribalism. Why? We all human beings. Why we got to be labeled? If y'all pay attention, everything is labeled into fascist. Tribalism. The red corner and the blue corner when it comes to sports. When it comes to politics, Democrat or Republican, the red and the blue. You know, it's all about tribalism. But I do want to say something to the American people that do follow me. Why is it? We know that Trump has been indicted on 37 counts of espionage act. First of all, he did not commit espionage. They got him charged under the wrong act. You know, he should. The espionage act is something totally different than what he's being charged with. But we know that they dragging Trump through the mud. But how come nobody has said nothing about Sleepy Joe? Oh, Brandon, let's go, Brandon. How come nobody said nothing about Joe Biden and all this money that he can bribe? He's implicated in bribing other foreign nationalists. You got a guy out right now who got specific recordings of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden blackmailing and bribing foreign governments for money. Now, y'all might think this crazy, but go back. All you got to do is look up. When Joe Biden was vice president under Barack Obama, he went to the Ukraine to give a couple of $1 billion to the Ukrainian government. And do y'all realize this dude was so stupid that he got on public television, he got on television. They got him recorded. And y'all go look this up. Well, he told the Ukrainian government, unless you fire that prosecutor who's investigating my son, Hunter Biden, for corruption, you will not get this $1 billion. This is how stupid this man was. He went out and literally bragged openly over the airways of blackmailing the Ukrainian government. Would y'all think this might have something to do with the reason why we finna send to Ukraine another $300 million? We've now already sent to Ukraine almost $170 billion under Joe Biden. That would have never happened under Trump. Now, I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm just saying, the reason why they're trying to get rid of Trump is trying to stop the wars. Joe Biden is steadily increasing them. But let me ask y'all a hypothetical question. Do y'all think maybe it's because Joe Biden himself now is being blackmailed for his corruption in the Ukraine, which is the reason why he's paying? Guess what? Again, since last year, we, the American citizens, have given the Ukrainian people and their government over $175 billion. They say they like to talk about the number for military expenditures that they gave to Ukraine, which totals to about $35 billion. But do y'all realize we got teachers in America on strike because they can't get paid, but we're paying the salary of teachers in the Ukraine. They're fixing to cut Social Security here in America for senior citizens, but we're paying pensions, Social Security basically, for the people of Ukraine. Do y'all realize most of that money that Joe Biden has given to the Ukraine is going to pay Ukrainian expenditures, the government expenditures? When we got bridges like that one in Philadelphia that collapsed, we got homelessness out the ass. People can't afford, they got to make choices between medication and food here in America, and we're giving another 300-some million to the Ukraine. We got to ask the question, why is Joe Biden so intent on giving your money and my money to the Ukraine? Is he being blackmailed by the Ukrainian government and the people in Ukraine? Because remember, when he was vice president under Barack Obama, he went over there, and as stupid as hell as it may sound, he said on an open mic, on open airways, that unless you fire the prosecutor, he was talking to the Ukrainian government, told them unless they fire that prosecutor who was investigating his son, Hunter Biden, for corruption and bribery and blackmail charges, they weren't going to get the $1 billion that Barack Obama sent them over there to give them. And when the Ukrainian government say you can't do that, Joe Biden in his hubris had the audacity to say that call Barack right now, and I guarantee you, you will not get this money until you fire that prosecutor who is investigating my son. And 6 hours later, the Ukrainian government fired their general. I guess you could say he would be the top man. He would be like the top person at the Department of Justice here in America. Now it's coming out. You got somebody who just released 17 audio or phone recordings, 17 phone recordings or audios of him talking to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, and they're blackmailing him. And they didn't. Right now, we know for a fact that the Bidens are being investigated for at least $5 million in bribery and blackmail schemes, but it's going upwards of 10 to 20 million. How come ain't nobody talking about that? Do y'all realize what happened with Donald Trump? Whether you like him or not, you're witnessing a coup d'etat in America. You're witnessing one political party persecuting their political opponents in order to interfere and affect the next election coming up. The Democrats knew they couldn't beat Trump, so they had to put him in a situation where he would be rendered effectively null and void in this upcoming election. It's going to backfire on him, but at the same time, even if Trump is guilty, Joe Biden guilty of the same thing? Joe Biden had classified documents, and he had no right to even touch them because he never was a president. Even if Trump was wrong, he still had the right as president and former president of the United States to see documents that were considered classified. He had the right to declassify documents. Now, in this case, what they really going to get Donald Trump on, what they're going to get Trump on is when he lied. Under the Espionage Act, they can't charge him with having those documents. But what they're going to really get him on, the count, and he might go to jail. I'm going to be real. Trump probably finna go to jail, or he's going to get pardoned, especially if a Republican wins the presidential election. But what they're going to get Trump on is lying, because they got him on audio bragging about a document that he should not have shown anybody. That's what they're going to get Trump on. But Joe Biden did the same goddamn thing on audio, blackmailing the government of Ukraine. He's got business dealing with people in China, where he blackmailed and bribed people in China. Nobody's talking about that. So what you're about to witness is what they call a banana republic. Y'all go back and look up that term. That's basically a government who is so corrupt that they want to hold power so much that they start arresting all their political opponents in order to, not covertly, but overtly interfere with elections. That's what we are seeing right now with Joe Biden using the FBI to politically persecute Donald Trump. Whether you like Trump or not, y'all got to realize they trying to get him out the way because they can't beat him in an election. Right now, believe it or not, if you look at all the polls, Trump is beating all the Republican candidates by 80%. And he's leading Joe Biden in the polls by damn near 60%. They got to stop him. And the only way they can stop him is tie his hands up so that he either be in jail or he's fighting that charge. But at the same time, how come the media ain't telling us about what's fit to happen with Joe Biden? Y'all pay attention. Stay tuned. Joe Biden is going to jail because of the blackmail, bribery that he was involved in, which contributed. They always talk about trying to protect democracy and national defense. Joe Biden was selling secrets, just like Hillary, maybe just like Trump. But he was doing the same thing, and in another case, mostly worse, because he was literally trying to bribe and blackmail foreign entities to keep that crooked shit that his son was doing out of the limelight. Y'all stay tuned.